Andy, what up? What up? What up? We have 17-3. Somehow the Chargers have 17 points, even though it feels like every time I've looked at this game, they have been Herbert's been scrambling for his life and throwing it out of bounds, and their statistical profile looks like dog shit. Yet this team is up by 14. I think that credit goes to some turnovers and some special teams bananas.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets are who we thought they were, which is an absolutely miserable offense. Zach Wilson. This game has the whiff of the defense is playing out of their mind. Offense and special teams have let them down so far. And after the game, this turns into the New York media really makes Zach Wilson eat some shit, right? Like they really how do you feel about letting your teammates down? Did you take responsibility for your performance
last year though?
Of course, like this is kind of got that though,
yeah,
right? Like that's the vibe I get from this is that after this is over, it's gonna be a pretty fun. It's gonna be a pretty fun night if you're in New York media because you really get to freaking stick your finger in the eye of the Jets quarterback tonight, right?
Yeah. So a little lower than the closing total for some places have 19, 18 and a half at FanDuel, but basically not too far strayed from the full game total because we have 20 points in the first half. So we're implying a shade under 40. I mean, the teams haven't moved the ball.
I think this is
I wish it were 20. I was hoping for a 20. We're getting a 19 and a half at Chris. That's down to 18 and a half. I guess that's a bet.
Yeah, I think the under is really the only way to look at this. Because if the special teams are going to make 50-yard field goals tonight, then maybe we threaten. But I have not seen anywhere close to enough efficiency to support this being any type of score fest all of a sudden. I will say the refs have been thankfully, less involved. There were some opportunities for them to call some roughing the passers and stuff, and they didn't do it. The one roughing the passer on both sides I thought was probably warranted. They haven't called any DPIs. They haven't been extending drives, or they haven't,
that face mask that really drove the ball down for the Chargers. Like, kind of have to call that.
Yeah,
that's not. Oh, the refs are inserting themselves into this game. I mean, he clearly needed that called. The roughing was pretty. I mean, that was a big. It's like a point of emphasis, I guess, which is annoying when it's like, even when you get mad at one of these, like, well, that's the rules. It still just sucks that like the body weight thing.
Is ESPN tracker broken?
When Herbert got whipped down.
How did the Jets have 5 penalties for 15 yards? How does that make sense? Do they have like several 2 yards?
They had a defensive offside at like the half-yard line for like an inch.
Oh, thank you.
I think maybe they had 2 down there, but that doesn't make a lot of sense with the face mask.
I guess I don't see the Chargers solving the Jets defense anytime tonight. I think that's
honestly, like,
has to happen to threaten this total.
The teams are pretty even stat wise. Like, they're both around 3 yards per play, about 100 yards, about equal on the plays.
Good Lord.
It's
both
it's
about
2
100
turnovers.
yards.
Yeah, 2 turnovers and a big punt return. That's kind of the story here. Herbert is 10 for 21 for 87 yards. Like, was his longest throw the Eckler catch?
Yeah.
Eckler, it was tied with the Everett. The Eckler scamper down the sideline on that broken play. That was 17 yards. That was his longest throw. Obviously not through the air. The Everett had that 17-yarder as well.
Yeah, I guess
we're not seeing it getting going. Like, kudos to the Jets defense. Just the decision making and the play calling for the Jets offense is gross. Yeah, apparently Sports Hack had the punts overnight. I'm assuming you took the over in that one.
I will tell you this, man. The every time Zach Wilson drops back to pass and it's not an immediate decision to throw it to the sidelines, it feels pretty likely that's a sack or a ball that he floats over the middle that looks like almost certainly it's going to be picked, right?
I know,
like
that is what worries
the middle
me
of the field.
Under.
You could get some shenanigans there, I guess. But then
both quarterbacks
unless
have thrown
they run
some
it
bad
back,
balls, it could have been picked.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers offense is no fluidity. Boy, oh boy, do they need some freaking playmakers. And honestly, like the offensive line for the Chargers is getting beat like a drum tonight. And I know the pass rush for the Jets is probably one of the most ferocious in the NFL, probably number 2 after Browns, I guess. But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, the Chargers O line is not doing a great job in pass pro. Herbert is really under duress, and usually he's a little bit poised under pressure, but tonight, for whatever reason, it's coming so fast, and it's like really like has finishing nature to it that it feels like it's just forcing him to do garbage throwaways, right?
Well, yeah,
Dump
the Jets had
offs.
to. In the Jets too, they had to reshuffle the offensive line around a little, and obviously there's some pretty good pass rushers in Herbert. Bosa looks very good. He looks. It was one of those where it's like, oh, is he fixed? Versus what was it, the Bears game? And it's
Yeah,
like, I want to see it against a better team, but if he's just
yeah.
going to keep doing this, Bosa's
I'm gonna
kind of
complain
might
about
have
2
just a
more
monster second
things. You
half.
okay with some more belly aching?
I love some whining.
Okay.
It's that's what Thursday night,
Um,
Monday night. What day is it?
Monday. That's what primetime
Yeah.
football is all about, complaining about the product, right?
Yes.
Quentin Johnson is this big. He's another game where he's just a complete zero. That's kind of annoying.
So
The
that play late in the first half, Sumo was on the stream over Pizzola there, and he's like, look at this route he ran, and it looked like he just ran down and run blocked on like a passing play. Like, I don't think he's quite getting it. They were maybe right to not like him, which was crazy. Was like the first play was, hey, let's throw it to the wide receiver we don't like, who's bracketed with a safety over the top, and Sauce Gardner underneath. And like that's our long ball that we're going to start with
not
instead
good.
of trying to find Keenan. If Sauce
Yeah.
is there, Keenan's open.
Yeah, surely. That's a very good point. The other kind of complaining I want to do.
Yes, officially on the under.
Hackett still brain dead. Like, can you give me a real reason why Dalvin Cook is getting any snaps in this game or any targets or any touches? Even Michael Carter, if you want to mix it up and have a third down, if Brees Hall needs a blow, put Michael Carter in. That's fine. But like this, like, Brees Hall is by far your most potential for having anything positive happen for you offensively tonight, because Garrett Wilson is being well defended and Zach Wilson is going to throw a pick if he continues to target him. Get the ball in Brees Hall's hands however you can, and maybe you have a chance at coming back here. I honestly don't know what the idea is still involving Dalvin Cook in this offense. Those are wasted downs.
The secondary and I mean the coverage unit in general, I'd like to say they're playing well, but I don't know if I can actually give them the credit. I think a lot of it is just Wilson has looked off. He's had some bad passes, and the pass rush is getting there enough where he's had some throwaways and some passes that weren't terribly accurate because of the pressure. So I think if they can get some, I don't know, run some 3 tight end stuff, get some extra protectors in there, and let your receivers try to get open against. Let them try to get open against this Chargers secondary. I hate this game. I'm not excited. I'm not excited about the second half under, but I'm under 19 is what I found.
Yeah, you think there's any chance the Jets come back? Should we have thought about that more?
What would be your game plan? Let's say you're Saleh, you're Hackett. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I like you better than that. You're not Nate Hackett.
I don't mind being compared to Saleh. He's fine. Hackett
he has a different kind of haircut, but
yeah, that's true. I would be very sad if I woke up with Saleh.
Right, you're Nate Hackett's replacement at half. Okay. Like, what's the game plan besides getting it Brees Hall running on the right running downs, getting him out in space with some screen passes? How are you getting Wilson the ball?
I mean, I'm targeting him 7 to 10 yards down the field along the sidelines because that's the only pass that Zach Wilson can make effectively, and I'm getting the ball out of Zach Wilson's hands as quickly as possible. Like that's we saw Wildcat. That's also not crazy. That's also not crazy. I also probably am like, I am emphasizing like the Jets. Do you get a sense that they're just takeaways aren't really in their DNA somehow? Like, how can they be such a chaotic, like just nasty stopping unit but they really can't get takeaways. This was a problem with these guys last year. Their defense is even better this year. And for some reason, they just can't force any takeaways. Is there something you can do coaching wise to try to set your guys up for better opportunities to get some short fields and some extra possessions? Because it's kind of what you need if you're down 14 in this game.
Yeah, it hasn't been a bad year for that, for them on as a whole, takeaways per game, but some of it is just like, oh, you get to play, this team, or you played this quarterback, or you've had some good. It's hard to like force a take, unless you're really Pete Tillman, I guess. But sometimes punching at the ball and trying too hard to force that turnover just ends up with broken tackles. I just got to keep at it, because keep running the coverage as you're running, and keep at it with the pressure, because on that second to last Chargers drive where they punted it, not the final drive where they kicked the long field goal, there was a pass that was very interceptable. And where is the Canadian capper? You know what his problem is?
He gave us 2 last night, so he's taking the day. He's taking the day off.
They don't.
No, he gave us 2, and he gave himself a blow. Give himself a day off. Yeah,
taking a breather.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anyone that just has a summary of int plus fumbles? I'm looking for team stats, I guess, right? Team defense takeaways.
Minus turnovers, NFL.
Yeah. Because I feel like
the footballdb.com. Go there.
Yeah. So takeaways per game, the Jets are kind of middle of the pack. Actually, they're not that well. So
maybe the Jets are +3 on differential.
Yeah.
5 interceptions, 5 fumbles recovered, 8 interceptions thrown.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm being too tough.
Giveaways the other way.
Let's move on to some midseason grades, and I guess get some questions for you. Okay. Right. We'll send out some midseason grades. You ready? Just the overall quality of the NFL this year in 2023. Andy.
Always an A. It's always an A.
Oh, it's
an A. It's an A just for being there. No, we had the fear. I will never forget the, oh my God, what if we don't have football because of COVID? And I'll never complain. It always gets an A. It gets an A for showing up. It's like writing your name on the ACTs. You get an automatic 18, which gets you into most Midwestern universities.
Okay. If I'm holding it up to years past, I'm gonna give it somewhere between a C- and a D+. Because this was crazy, right?
I protect the shield, guys.
You get. I think when a lot of when you know the typical kind of you can already tell Tuesday's coming up tomorrow. What does that mean in NFL analytics? You follow the same accounts that we follow. Tuesdays means charts, right?
Everybody.
And charts, and it's just a relative snapshot of how players
does that.
It's a relative snapshot of players against each other this year. Or teams against each other this year, and it's really useful to see relativity, shown that way. I love it. I look forward to it.
But comparing it to years past,
I want to see those stats. But if you care to compare to years past, we're in some serious dog shit NFL territory here.
A big part of it. How many rookie quarterbacks have we had to start this year? I mean, there's been years.
8 of them yesterday.
Yeah, I think we're up to 10 for the year. Drew,
that's crazy, man.
You got to throw Richardson in there.
Yeah.
What was the other one we were missing?
Who else?
I think that we've had 10 this year so far.
We've had 10 rookies start games. I don't even know. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
I propose taking away a defender. 11 on 10. just make it fun.
I guess that's defense. One way to move your defense. I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. That's funny. Nice positive chunk play there, I guess. I don't know. Of course. Classic.
I said get the ball to Garrett Wilson. Look at that.
Yeah. It was sideline.
The ultimate no shit, Andy.
Yeah. Because the young quarterbacks is definitely an issue. And even beyond that, you can expand that in the year 2 guys. They're all kind of sucking.
Pickett's not.
Maybe Howell. Any of the year 2 guys. I mean, Stroud. I can't believe I'm even here, and I don't want to be overreactionary nonsense bullshit like Orlovsky. Stroud's in the MVP discussion after one game that was amazing. Like, but he's in the top 10 quarterback discussion right now. Stroud for sure, particularly when he's at home and he's got comfortable confines. Yeah, he's clearly in the top 10 discussion right now. That doesn't make him in the MVP discussion.
No, I mean, Kirk opened up a spot.
Yeah, sure. There you go. He can have Kirk's spot in my latest top 10 quarterback rankings. That's fine.
Well, I mean, just think of the quarterbacks that didn't play last week, like Kirk, Stafford. I mean, even if you want to go, and I know you're not a big Rodgers guy, you'd bet against him preseason
sure.
too.
Tannehill.
Those are top 15.
Yeah,
those are
sure.
Those are top half of the league guys. All of them for sure. And none of those guys are playing. There's probably more I'm not even getting to. Anthony Richardson was a lot of fun before he got hurt. Like,
yeah.
Who else has gotten really banged up?
Kyler Murray hadn't been around.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. Speaking of,
you saw you were with Suma on the stream.
Yep.
Was there any calamari talk?
Calamari. We did not get into calamari.
You didn't get into calamari? Oh, damn it.
Talk about like all the subterfuge and bullshit and rumors, and then it just turns out to be this thing that everybody said like 2 months ago. Probably Atlanta.
So still then, like, why did you just completely dump that game against the Browns?
I guess the trade deadline,
like one more loss at this point isn't going to matter.
No, I don't know what their long term plan is. Like, we can say we know what they were going to do with Kyler and be right. We can't say I know what their plan was for like the season. I know they probably wanted to trade Dobbs and they couldn't. It's kind of, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can either trade Dobbs or you can try to win that game this week, because they didn't want to bring Kyler back. So it's like, well, if we want to trade Dobbs, we're punting next week, and we're not going to throw Kyler out there. We're going to just Clayton Tune is not good.
Yeah. Yeah. I would Clayton
maybe someday, but I mean, it was not a good start for him, obviously.
His first drive, I think he made 2 positive plays, and that might have been it for the game.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It'll be really interesting to see what Kyler brings. It's not like they have like Ertz is hurt, Connor's hurt. Who's your best wide receiver on the Arizona Cardinals right now? It doesn't have to be who has the most stats. Like, who do you
Hollywood
think?
Brown, I suppose, but I say that very.
The rookie Wilson has been hurt. Rondale Moore is like a gadgety guy. You have Dortch.
I say that in a very
it's Hollywood.
Wouldn't
it's not
Hollywood Brown,
close,
but
I don't think.
Yeah,
and that's not great.
No. Offensive line, everybody got hurt. Did you see that? DJ Humphries, Tristan Colon, Will Hernandez.
No, a red zone sack.
Uh-oh.
McBride's not a bad call. I mean, a tight end can be your best receiver. It's the case in it's definitely the case in I mean, I put him in I had a like Swaim.
Yeah, I mean, the team is really, really rough. But like, because like, I don't know, man. Like, that's
what I'm worried about. Like, Kyler comes back and suddenly they're not tanking. You still have a tanking roster.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you a couple other grades or whatever. You have a sense of which team made the best hire last cycle after half season?
Man, all right, where are we at with new coaches? So Reich is in an untenable situation.
That is the worst hire, probably, based on early results.
Not only is it just not jiving, but he's just mad at ownership now.
Yeah, that seems like the.
It's hard to judge Gannon because of the guy has no roster. Like, not only that, but even the good players he had have been traded or have been hurt now. Gannon is incomplete. Reich is like a D. What's that leave us with?
Steichen and the Houston Demeco Ryans.
Demeco's probably an A. It seems like good culture. The team's playing well. They got the right quarterback. Steichen's a B plus. Hard to do it with Minshew all year, but he's got that defense playing well. And even with Minshew in there, they've had some decent success.
Okay. How about uh grade on Sean Payton?
I don't love it. I mean, there's a lot of friction. Like that's a C minus. I'm
Okay.
still willing to like long term say that's an okay hire if it works
Okay.
out. But man, it sucks that he hates his quarterback.
Yep. Not good. Okay.
What do
How
you
about
think
some
of
of these
Willis?
offensive?
Let's go. Yeah, Willis is the DC. Or
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not
no,
going
what's
great.
San Francisco's new DC? The guy that was in Carolina.
Steve Wilkes. Yeah, that's not
Wilkes.
going
I keep
great.
saying Willis.
Yeah,
No, it's
that's
not.
not
It
going great.
doesn't seem like it's
Let's
going
go
well.
through offense coordinators first because defense
Okay.
coordinators is really that's a really tough thing. I can't really evaluate those clearly, but there's a
I
couple
mean,
that I think are easy
Schwartz,
calls.
and yeah.
What do we think of? I'm just going to skip the ones where the entire administration is new. What do you think of Brian Schottenheimer in Dallas?
I still don't know who's responsible for the offense, so I'm
Okay.
hard to blame him.
Okay.
I
How
mean,
about
it's a good front running team, but man,
yeah?
they're not going to beat anybody right now
How
somehow.
do we feel about bringing Matt Nagy back to Kansas City?
So far, it's been not good, and I feel like a good offensive coordinator would find a way to get something out of that wide receiver core. They're
Okay.
not all horrible. They're just
Yep.
not ones. Like you can elevate one or two of those guys to be wide receiver 2 level. Right
Okay.
now, we're not doing it, Nagy.
How are we grading Kellen Moore's tenure so far in LA?
Do they even have a winning record? Oh man, that's
No,
been
they don't.
that's been a very unbalanced team. One of
Yeah.
the worst second half teams. They're like bottom 5 in second half scoring.
Yeah.
The adjustments are not good.
No.
They're going to lose close games to good teams if
Yeah.
they don't figure that out. So I'm
I
not enamored with that.
No, I'm not either. It has not gone well. And honestly, the fact that you haven't been able, or I guess I'm assuming he had some say or input or some feedback on Quentin Johnson, and the fact that you can't even figure out how to use him is bad when you need him now because you've lost Mike Williams and Palmer. I'm going to skip Mike LaFleur for the Rams because it's really Sean McVay. Bill O'Brien for the Patriots.
I was semi impressed with what they got out of the offense last week.
Okay. Really?
Like they were down a couple of wide receivers.
Okay.
And I mean, it hasn't been all bad.
Okay.
That's a tough situation too. They just don't have the receiving
Bunch
core.
of offensive line injuries. Mac Jones is clearly not the future.
I hate feeling bad for Bill O'Brien, but he doesn't have the best situation.
He didn't.
Right
you when you hire him, I think you expect he either fixes Mac Jones or Mac Jones is unfixable. Is that the idea?
It is like 3 a.m., Julian.
He's probably there's got to be a better reason to be up at this time than watching this game. I hope maybe the start of college basketball. Anyway, the Nathaniel Hackett incomplete because of the Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's tough too. They've shown some signs of life.
Brian Johnson bringing anything new to the Eagles, or is that just the Sirianni show?
I think it's still just holdover from Sirianni Steichen.
Okay, Dave Canales for Tampa Bay. Doing anything to move the needle for you?
We've had a couple games where Baker's looked okay. I was out on it right away because man, he needed defensive touchdowns to beat the Bears and Vikings. He hasn't been good, but last week there was some life. The fact that they kept Evans is going to go a long way for Baker getting another fucking contract.
Okay. Tim Kelly for the Titans, just incomplete or generic.
Yeah, incomplete. Yeah, but
how about
the fact that they got anything out of Levis was happy. Like that.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think of Bieniemy for the commies?
No,
Kellen Moore. This is a classic. What are you doing, Kellen Moore play? Like, let's get Keenan Allen involved in the wide receiver screen game, Andy. Why Keenan Allen? Like that is really, really going against his strength. Good Lord. Anyway. Bieniemy.
What was the last one you said? Bieniemy? I don't know. Howell is so volatile. I haven't loved the fact that they haven't figured out how to, teach him to not hold the ball that long. Like, if it's an issue, and everybody in the entire world knows it's an issue that he's holding the ball too long and getting sacked, the fact that they didn't correct that fast enough
Yeah.
And then they continue to just be like, well, we're throwing the ball 40 times. We're throwing the ball 50 times. We don't care about his health, his well-being, or the fact that sacks are a massive negative in EPA. It's just, it's weird. At the same time, I do kind of love that he threw it like 50 times in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking like, he's just damn the torpedoes.
Todd Monken in Baltimore.
Good. Obviously, it took time. We needed patience.
Okay.
But
Can you tell any difference?
It's
I mean, Greg Roman is very different scheme wise, obviously, but I'm not obviously seeing much of a difference.
I think what we saw the last few weeks, where the running game is really going to kick up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's what the Monken ideology is. So we said that coming in, like all of his different stops, it's been such different offenses. We just weren't super sure what we're going to get. There wasn't like it's like, hey, this is a Vic Fangio defense. It wasn't like this is a Todd Monken offense.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of he can be a chameleon and put together what he needs to put together to go with the players. Maybe that's why we needed to be patient. But they got this young running back. They got Lamar looking a lot better, scrambling. Lamar's been really good. Some of the sack avoidance has been great. So
okay, so we just covered 5 new regimes and 11 new offensive coordinators, and the hits were like Steichen, Ryans, Monken, and
McDaniel. I mean, or McDonald.
McDonald.
We should give him. Was that a new hire?
No. But for the Ravens.
Yeah, how many years has he been
there? He's been there now since 2002. But no, I think the problem with the NFL, and I think we're kind of there, is that like there's been like 3 hits in terms of new regimes and offensive coordinators, and 1 hit in terms of a new quarterback in CJ Stroud. That's a really, really, really high miss rate for like new interesting offense and like kind of getting a good exciting product. I think that's, if there's one thing that like kind of explains the lack of juice, I think that's it.
Yeah, I want to get. I know it's kind of the McVay thing, but Kevin O'Connell deserves some credit.
Yeah, sure. Did you bet any of his coach of the year today?
No, I mean,
no. Why not?
I don't believe he can win it.
Really?
I don't care how many wins he has. If the Detroit Lions win the division for the first time since the early 90s, like, why would you vote for Kevin O'Connell over, like, we've seen this. It's the Shanny thing. Like, oh,
well, what if the Vikings
quarterback? We don't care.
The Vikings win the North?
They do have both Detroit games left. I think the Vikings are going to crash and burn so hard the next couple of weeks.
You do?
If JJ doesn't come back,
so
and
you're on like Saints this week.
What if Osborne misses time, dude? You're down all the receivers. You have Hawkinson left.
Doesn't matter. Dobbs doesn't know who they are anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's like, hey, number 6. Hey, number practice squad. Hey, guy who's wearing an inside-out jersey because you just got here. You're my number 1.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, it's the market price, I think, is kind of interesting on the Vikings to win the North. And if that happens, then Campbell is 0% chance to be coach of the year.
You know what? You know what ticket I had from preseason? It was like,
what's that?
Vikings to lose in the wild card round, like exact.
Oh yeah,
like that,
they could be there. They're going to be the 7th seed unless they do crash.
That's live.
Yeah.
I don't want to bet the Saints, but the more I look at that, it's a tougher defense. Time to game plan for Dobbs. Obviously, Dobbs gets the advantage of actually taking some snaps in practice this week. That'll be probably a boon for him. But the Saints and Vikings are there.
That's a great
call. My God, what a fun game.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so the defensive coordinators, it's a less interesting conversation because who the hell knows? But there's definitely some guys who were hired and have hit smashes. Jim Schwartz, definitely in the conversation, one of the best hires of the year. Brian Flores, one of the best hires of the year. I'm assuming Vic Fangio is a good hire and it will ultimately bear fruit. Steve Wilkes, jury is out. Vance
Yeah.
Joseph is with the Sean Payton regime. He's getting that group playing better. And the Falcons brought in Ryan Nielsen, who actually I think has done fine. So the defensive coordinator hires all hit, and the offensive coordinator hires all missed. And a bunch of young quarterbacks aren't really that good. I think that's kind of what's going on.
Benson here is making a joke about the no more clipboard player of the year for backup. That is, it needs a snappier name, but like the fact that the NBA has a sixth man a year of
next man up, the next man up award.
Fuck, Drew. I think
how cool would that be?
That's because that's what that's what you give someone, like Andy, the guy who stepped in. I'm gonna talk. I have the NFL's email.
Well, if they don't get back to you, we'll award it.
We'll award the
next man up this year. Benson, thank you for the idea. We will pick the next man up of the year and we'll come up with some other fun awards at the end of the season.
Dobbs, obviously an early leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Is Zach Wilson eligible? Former starter, but he was going into the season, holding that clipboard.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do an award show. Let's do an award show where we do like
we come up with like
award. Let's do like best trade of the year. Best of coordinator hire of the year. Like this is fun stuff that the NFL.
That's way more fun.
The No Fun League. No Fun League doesn't want these ideas. That's fine. We'll make them happen. I love it, man.
Maybe during the playoffs, because we have like we're going to do a preview for like 4 games or 2 games. Mm-hmm. Maybe sometimes during the playoff when we have a lot more time.
Yeah. Anything besides something like conversation of, for the next 3 months about who's the comeback player of the year going to be. Anything else?
I was going to call them the DPs, but that just sounds like DPs.
No. Okay. So the
Divies.
Oh yeah, we got to name it after Nick Foles. The next man up award is definitely the Nick Foles award.
The Nick Foles Memorial, even though he's alive.
Yeah, the Nick Foles Tripod Award. We'll get a little tripod statue, and we'll send it to Josh Dobbs. There you go.
Best shower fart game of the year.
Shower fart game of the year is absolutely going to be an award. Let's
it
write
these
down.
The Vikings Falcons game. Jesus.
Let's write these down. Yeah. I don't want to forget this. This is good ideas. All right, man. Kind of. Did anything that you read today in the kind of mid-season column space spark anything in your mind about awards?
I didn't read any of those. I skip over those so fast. The mid-season columns.
Yeah. Okay.
I have my normal reading. I like to read the stuff about this week. Like the mid-season column stuff is a lot of conjecture, and it's not going to really help me figure out who's healthy this week. I don't know what I'd have to see in one of those articles to want to read it.
Derwin James doing us no favors. There was no way that was getting completed. He did not need to grab onto the jersey of his receiver. Somehow the clock is not ticking as fast as I would like it to be in this game.
We've only had 3 points. We just need a little mid. You know what? I'm going to manifest it, a mid field kind of 3 and out here, and then a coffin corner punt.
So shower fart game of the year, the leader so far is probably Giants Jets, but I'm going to need to think about that. That had a little bit of entertainment. Like the shower fart game of the year.
How do you award it?
So last year's shower fart game of the year was clearly Colts Broncos. Like no doubt about it. It was Colts Broncos. Yep. Like just like literally like what are we watching? Like why are we watching this? This has gotten so bad it's good now, and it had an ending that was just completely nothing. No redemption.
Giants Commanders is a good call.
Have they played already? I don't remember that game. They did play.
Yeah.
Did the Commanders win that game?
Both Giants Commanders games from last year.
The Giants won that game, right? Who won that game?
Terod
Taylor? Was that Terod Taylor?
It should be a standalone.
That elevates you in the shower fart standings because literally there was nothing else to watch.
You have to watch this.
You had to watch it. Yeah. Like that's a good call. Okay. Jets go for him. If you guys get it with the direct snap, is that what that was?
Yeah, Breece Hall. If you
Brees
guys
Hall.
have other awards you think of, obviously hit us on Twitter and the Discord. We've got like 10 weeks to sort this out, but we've got like 4 good awards already.
Oh, hell yeah. This will be fun. It'll be more fun than handicapping the week 18 games, that's for sure. Because we can definitely just
maybe
do
that's
then.
where we do it.
We'll
It's
do it
just
then,
like,
yeah.
right, week 18.
Yeah, because week 18 is a hot mess anyway. I never love talking about those. Okay. Yeah. We'll have like we'll try to come up with the worst coaching decision of the year. The honorary I don't even know who I want to single out as the worst coaching decision maker in general, but we'll think of a classic bad decision maker. Okay.
Oh, my feed isn't ahead. My feed is so far behind. I'm watching it on the ESPN scorebug.
Our feed is ahead. Oh,
my feed is so far behind. I just watched the 4th down. I'm watching on
okay.
crack streams.
Well, they did exactly. Brees Hall gets the hard fought 4th and 1, and so let's give him a blow. Let's get Dalvin Cook in here.
Dalvin Cook, get in there.
Dalvin Cook, you're up. Next man up.
All right, guys. Should we call her a night?
Yeah, your Timberwolves are beating the undefeated Celtics. How about that? They are the Giant Slayers. This would be 2. This would be 2 pelts.
Finals preview, Drew. In-season tournament finals preview.
Yes, I think that's fair.
That's
fair. Did you see any of the shitty Clippers?
The Sixers putting up a shitload of points.
The Wizards don't play defense. That doesn't mean anything. The Mavericks coming back on the Magic hurt. The Heat held on for dear life and beat the Lakers. The Clippers were awful tonight. Harden's debut was a super duper flop.
Darius Rucker.
There's been a lot of bad basketball so far, I got to tell you.
Fair enough. So, all right, well, guys, we'll catch you Wednesday. We'll go over all the games. Drew, there's another within the period where we still have bye weeks. There is another week where no teams are on bye this year.
What? Really?
Yeah, the Amazon AI really isn't.
It really lost the plot.
Not doing this right. Just spread them out 4 per week for 8 weeks. Let's make it easy. Whatever. Amazon. Oh no, Zach Wilson got sacked out of field goal range.
Wow.
Worst beat of the year? Honestly, man. I don't think it was the I mean, it's the Ravens. It's the Ravens -8.
Yeah.
The onside kick. That might be the only onside kick that is successful all year, guys.
I think it was so far, right? It was a good
onside kick. You knew it was a good one. Aguilar.
Yeah, that's a good point. Here's what the dumb coaching decision of the year was. Special teams coach for the Ravens gets special consideration for putting Nelson Aguilar on the hands team. Yeah. What are we doing? Why is he on the hands team, Andy? This guy has specifically been lampooned at the national media level, if not was it the local media level? I'm not sure. Philadelphia local media level. He got lampooned for having bad hands. Why is he on the goddamn hands team? Okay. Worst beat of the year is a great one.
The Mac Jones safety.
That was a bad one too.
We might have to put these up for a vote.
Let's put them up for a vote.
The Houston -2.5, and I know
deep dive Discord guys. We'll get some of your feedback on this stuff.
You knew it was coming because they didn't have a kicker, but still, the impending dread of having Houston -2.5 had to feel so bad in that game last week.
Yeah,
so
nasty.
All right, I gotta go to bed.
All right, man.
I'm done.
Good luck. Good job by you. Let's keep this low scoring, please.
Aguilar hands team.